All right, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Konnichiwa. Abakaba. Namaste. And also have a Thailand greet, Sawadee Krap. Well, the different kind of the greeting from the language from the country or area you're from. So I think the day 2 agenda will be very flexible and very cheerful. So we do have several sessions will take place today, but before we go to the session 4, at this moment, we would like to show you a very special made video. Because the day 1, yesterday, we have experienced several important moments, and we also have a happy hour during the welcome dinner, and in the morning, we have a welcome reception hosted by the mayor, Wayne Zhang. So through all of the very interesting and memorable pictures we added a very special made film, about 5 minutes. So at this time, we'd like to invite you to enjoy the special made by the organizer. Now, please eyes on the both sides of the screen and see what we have yesterday. Please enjoy.
句话，一辈子，一生情。
希望你常来台北，享受台北的人情、美食，还有我们的文化。谢谢大家，谢谢。
Well, as a host this year, the Taipei City would like to continue its progress and run this program and seminars several times. But looking forward to the next year, if this seminar was held in other city, other country, we hope everybody can join together and don't forget what happened this evening. And we can gather one more time next year, somewhere in the world. Thank you.
Well, okay, thank you for watching. Well, the videos are made by the organizer, but the most important is the people inside. Without you, this film cannot be made, correct? All right, so we still, today we have a lot of things to do, and we still keep recording everything. So, well, let's enjoy it yesterday, but we're going to have experience it today. All right, now we do have a very special announcement made right now, because maybe some of you know, this year marks the 25th anniversary of the Taiwan's 9/21 earthquake. There's some of the guests on the stage mentioned yesterday. So this very commemorable day, we have named it on the National Disaster Preparedness Month, will be on September. So this morning at the 9:21 a.m., there will be a special presidential alert in the national level will be alert. So at the time, some of the guests were on the stage, and because they are going to do the panel discussion. And one of the experts will show us how to demo how can we do during this kind of national alert. And it's part of the disaster prevention for the citizens. So we will do a live demonstration later. Maybe we'll show you how to take the 3 steps, including the drop, the cover, and the hold on exercise. So this is the drill. I'll just give you the reminding at this time, but later, one of our experts will do the demonstration for all of us. Okay, now we're moving on to the session 4. The topic is the promoting whole community disaster preparedness. So at this moment, we would like to welcome the moderator of this session is an Emeritus Professor Sun Zhihong from the Department of Geography, National Taiwan University. Come up to the stage to moderate this session. Please take your seat. And the speaker of this part, the first one is Professor Pan Zhongyi. Now, from the Center for Weather and Climate Disaster Research, National Taiwan University, Taipei. And the second speaker is Tomoyuki Shigatani, the Section Chief, Citizen Disaster Prevention and Safety Division, Matsuyama, Japan. Welcome. And the next speaker is Daisuke Shiba, who is the Associate Professor, Inter-Faculty Graduate School of the Regional Resilience, Esme University, also from the city of Matsuyama, Japan. And next one is Milady Azur, City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Officer, City Government of the Legazpi. And the next one will be the panelist. We invite the Morris Mo Huaizu 局长, the Commissioner, Taipei City Fire Department from Taipei City Government. And another panelist is Li Weisen, Secretary General, National Science and Technology Center for Disaster Reduction, Taipei. So everyone, please take your seat. And I will give the floor to our moderator of the day. Please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Welcome to section 4. Yesterday, we heard a lot of excellent presentation from many cities, from the Philippines and India, Nepal, Taiwan, and Japan. I'm really glad to see that CityNet did a great job by sharing and promoting this knowledge transfers. I think this is very important to help the other city do not have a disaster management plan. I remember 25 years ago, on September 21, a very strong shallow earthquake at magnitude 7.3 scale hit the central Taiwan. It killed over 2,000 people, and over 11,000 people were injured, and over 50,000 buildings were total collapse, and over 50,000 buildings were half damaged. And the whole country is in total shock. And at that time, in 1998, I served in the National Science Council. We launched a national disaster mitigation research plan in 1998. And 1 year later, this disaster, large-scale disaster, hit central Taiwan. We immediately called for more university professors to join this research team. We went to Japan, we went to the United States to learn experience from them, and then come back to launch our national disaster plan programs. And the first thing we did is a scientific risk assessment. We developed the earthquake simulation model that is transferred from FEMA, United States. And we improved a more and more accurate earthquake simulation. So right now we can know which area is vulnerable for earthquake, which building will collapse during a large-scale earthquake. And also we developed a typhoon simulation model and flood simulation model. And right now every city have the early warning message when typhoon come. So this kind of the disaster plan development through the national scale and the transfer to local city is very important. I know Japan did a lot of great jobs and help us. We appreciate that. And then we need to move this experience to other countries, like Sri Lanka. Yesterday, they mentioned they need it. And we should continue to do these jobs. And this morning, we have a very important section. This is a whole community's disaster preparedness. This, I think, is the last step for the disaster plan. Without this, we cannot reduce loss of life. So today, we have the four outstanding speakers. And the first one is Professor Pan. He will share the experience we launched about 10 years ago in Taipei City for the community disaster programs. And two colleagues from Japan, I think you did a very great job by promoting this, the 防灾士, we call it community disaster prevention expert or personnel. We call it 社区防灾士. This is very important to help the local people to know how to prepare and how to evacuate and how to take care of those disabled and those peoples. And we also have the speakers is from the Legazpi cities, a small city in Philippines. I think I read the presentation yesterday. You did a very good slide there. So this morning we can appreciate the four outstanding speakers to do these very important jobs for the whole community disaster preparedness. So we welcome the first speaker, Professor Pan from the National Taiwan University, the Center for Weather and Climate Research. Please go to the stage. And his topic is improving the resilience of the whole community in disaster prevention under larger scale disaster. Okay. And this is a very important topic. We launched this kind of community disaster program about 10 years ago. So right now, a lot of city is promoting these jobs. Okay, the stage is yours.
Okay. Okay, thank you, the introduction of Professor Sun. And ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Can you show my slide? Yeah. Yeah, this is my slide, yeah. Okay. I am Zhongyi Pan, Dr. Pan from National Taiwan University, and I'm also the Taipei City Disaster Prevention Cooperation Team we cooperation with the Taipei government. So as mentioned by Professor Sun, in the past 20 years, we did a lot of work for government to improve the resilience of our city. Okay, so because I have some time pressure, so because we just mentioned 9:20 we will got a national alarm, so I will speak faster. Oh, okay. Here you see this is the hazard environment of Taipei City. What we have volcano over here, and we also have many downhill slope. And we, based on different rainfall scenario, we also suffer serious flooding. So for Taipei City, we call that you live in a disaster area, high disaster potential area. So that's our job. We have to mention around people. You have to take care by yourself. And this slide shows you when we suffer a big scale flood, our government did a lot of work to prevent that. For example, we have 2 reservoirs and 60 kilometer levees and drainage systems, including 79 pumping stations around our cities. And to monitor the heavy rainfall, because for some, like thunderstorm, it's hard to forecast 2 days ago. So we have to monitor that. So we have 84 rain gauges and 2 radar stations and 142 soil level gauge underground to watch the drainage water level. However, based on we did a lot of work, but some disasters still happen. If those disasters, the scale is over our capacity of construction, so we will get those serious disasters like this is Typhoon Neri happened in 2001. So this picture is famous because this picture is in our MRT station underground. And our MRT station, they fill most of water. So we recover it over 6 months. But we also thank to MRT because without their underground big pool, maybe our disaster were bigger. And we also suffer the Gigi earthquake. Yeah, here we have 1 building collapse. Okay, so if this kind of disaster happen, what have we do? So here you can see that for disaster management, we have 2 ways. One is engineering approach, another is non-engineering approach. So this section, what we talk about is around whole community disaster prevention. So it's related to non-engineering method. It includes disaster resilient community and enterprise and campus and foreigner. And for the higher level, maybe we will promote people self-rescue team. It's a little bit like CERT in America, CERT, Community Emergency Response Team in America. So we want to also want to promote that. Okay, so until now, this year, 2024, now we have, actually in Taipei, we have 456 villages. And in those villages, not all of them are training well. So we want to promote, until now we have 18 resilient community related to flooding, and 8 resilient community related to a slope disaster, and 31 resilient community related to earthquake. So you can, based on this map, you can see that it's related to their location. We have some village near mountain, so we focus on the landslide. And for the flat area, so we focus on flooding. Okay, here's slide show you where I always told the people in community, for one people, the disaster prevention is how to protect yourself. But for many people in this community, what have you do? The disaster prevention we called cooperation. So we have to cooperation the people in your community. Here we help them to separate different small group to complete this work. So here in Taipei, we give them this guideline. We help them to organize their people in the community into classified into 6 small groups, like administrative class, and alarm notification class, evacuation guidance class, and shelter class, and ambulance class, and the rescue class. For their job, for their mission, you can see that the first four small group, they focus on how to help people survive, find the dangerous area, and help people to move to a safe area and take care of them. So that's our job. Okay, what did they do? When the typhoon coming, they will call their group and make some brief. And when flood happen, they will use this. Did you see this before? We call this box wall. It's a small and movable wall. And they link together, they can like a small levee. Yeah, so it's very workful. Okay, so another community we call enterprise community. Here we focus on what we focus on. We focus on BCP because we cannot develop any money in for those company because they are private, not office. So we just told them how to do BCP promotion. BCP called Business Continuity Plan. So those business companies, they have to do the disaster prevention by themselves. Okay, about foreigner community, what we did, we hold some class to training them like the Professor Sun mentioned, the bonsai seed of disaster prevention volunteer. We told them how to protect by themselves. Okay. Last conclusion. To decrease the impact of large-scale disaster on the city, the Taipei City government is promoting disaster prevention effort through a non-engineering, we call a whole community approach to enhance the city overall disaster resilience. Of the 56 neighborhood villages in city, we have 57 villages. They are a resilient community. So here we have to mention that the most important is that's one. We have to hold many disaster drills for people because that can help them to transfer their knowledge into actionable skill. That's the most important. Yeah, so I wish all of you can know that, and maybe in those countries, we can hold more disaster drill for your people. Okay, then this is my reference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Pan. Now, alert.
This is national alarm. So please drop, cover, and hold. Everyone, please do the action. Okay, the shaking is over. So first, please give yourself a big clap. Everyone, do the good job. Yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you. This earthquake is small. It's only lasts 30 seconds. 921 earthquake lasts over 100 seconds. Okay, the next speaker, we invite Mr. Shigetani from the city of Matsuyama. He is Section Chief, Citizen Disaster Prevention and Safety Divisions. Please go to the stage. And his topic is Old Generation Disaster Prevention Education Program promoted by Matsuyama City. Please.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. During this presentation, I will be outlining the disaster prevention initiative of Matsuyama. For those unfamiliar, Matsuyama is a city located in Ehime. It is known for its delicious food, has a mild climate, and is home to many kind-hearted people. Japan is known for its natural disasters and has received a reputation of a disaster-prone country. These disasters often result from major earthquakes, heavy rainfall, and other extreme weather events. The consequences of such natural disasters can be quite severe and challenging. To effectively implement disaster risk reduction in our society, we must enhance both the physical and non-physical aspects of our society. This includes everything from policies to infrastructure in Japan. A holistic approach is essential. In 2005, Matsuyama became the first city in Japan to begin training people in disaster prevention with the city's budget. To become trained, one must take a course and pass an exam. Matsuyama has used this Both I See program to certify local volunteers, employers of disaster prevention organizations, school teachers, private businesses, and university students. To date, we have produced about 10,000 disaster prevention specialists, ranking as #1 all of Japan. Here are some Bosaishi certified people at work. They wear yellow vests so they can be easily seen. They are active in their communities and workplaces. In 2018, heavy rains caused by the Western Japan torrential rainfall resulted in over 200 fatalities across the country. Matsuyama City also experienced significant damage. In the Takahama area of the city, numerous landslides led to major damage of buildings. Luckily, serious human casualties were avoided. Before the landslides occurred, residents communicated very well and were able to evacuate early. The strong community bonds and regular large-scale drills lead this communication, ultimately helping to protect lives. Following this horrible event, the mayor of Matsuyama promised to establish an all-age inclusive disaster prevention education. To effectively pursue this idea, a committee was established to implement the program effectively. In the all-age inclusive disaster prevention education programming, our aim is to cultivate leaders and instructors across all ages and professions, ensuring continuous learning opportunities. We also provide a place for disaster prevention for leaders to connect and share information, fostering sustainable regional disaster prevention. One of many disaster preparedness goals adopted by the city of Matsuyama includes an application. As of April 2023, the city has been operating smartphone applications designed to support this effort. The application encouraging residents to create a personal action plan called My Timeline. This plan helps citizens prepare for disasters such as typhoons and heavy rains. The application allows residents to easily check disaster risks using their location. The application can create evacuation plans based on alert levels. Additionally, it features automatic notifications for weather updates and evacuation information, providing full support for effective disaster management. Starting this fiscal year, we have started a follow-up program aimed at disaster prevention specialists. These training sessions are to enhance the skills of those certified as both ICs. There are 14 specialized programs covering all sorts of unique topics. Specialists can choose which training courses interest them and can complete them accordingly. Natural disasters can occur anywhere in the world. The city of Matsuyama wishes to share its initiative with everyone at CityNet so that we can work together to build disaster-resilient communities everywhere. Our top priority is to save lives and ensure that communities remain strong and prepared in the face of any disaster. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Shiketani. Now we will invite the third speaker go to the stage. Professor Shiba is Interfaculty Graduate School of Regional Resilience. and Hime University in Matsuyama City. Today, his presentation topic is Hime University's international cooperation in the field of disaster prevention. Okay, if you're ready, we can start it.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor. Hello. Oh, good morning, everyone. Did you have a good time last night? Oh, yes. Last night in Taiwan was a special night for me. Thank you for your kind hospitality. Today, I'm excited to present the disaster prevention initiatives that we are continually implementing at our university. Firstly, Okay, thank you. Firstly, Ehime University has partnered with the city of Matsuyama to train disaster prevention leaders. This disaster risk reduction program involves over 1,500 students, including those from other universities. Participants complete a 4-day course focused on disaster knowledge and emergency response. Upon finishing the program, students earn 2 academic credits and are then certified as disaster prevention specialists. Here's a snapshot of the program. Half of the participants are women. The students form NPOs and engage in community disaster prevention activities and school-based disaster education. Their activities include attending local meetings and delivering lectures, and visiting earthquake-affected areas for research and volunteering, and teaching disaster prevention to elementary and middle school children. And more, providing guidance to foreign residents in Japan. Furthermore, Ehime University and Matsuyama City are increasing disaster prevention education for all ages through a comprehensive program designed to develop disaster leaders. Additionally, to effectively evacuate during disasters, we have introduced a personal disaster action plan called My Timeline. Okay. In schools across Matsuyama, all first-year junior high school students create their own My Timeline during class. Every year, more than 4,000 students create their My Timeline. After completing their timelines, students
write letters to their loved ones, expressing their feelings of gratitude for the life they have. These warm letters have helped raise parents' awareness of disaster prevention, encouraging them to take measures to protect the lives of family members. The My Timeline app also features an educational component designed to enhance public awareness of procedures. In addition to disaster education in elementary, middle, and high schools, we provide training for school teachers as well. Through the relationship we have built with CityNet, Japanese high school students and their peers from Thailand and Nepal are able to think critically and share their knowledge and experience regarding disaster prevention. We have produced numerous videos to support disaster education in schools, issuing them to elementary and middle schools, streaming them with YouTube. Our programs, in collaboration with various organizations, aim to maintain and enhance the knowledge and skills of disaster prevention in all people. Through CityNet, we collaborate with Makati City in the Philippines to participate in comprehensive disaster drills and the sharing of knowledge. Japanese university students have shared their disaster prevention initiatives to Makati City. And we have visited Makati City to attend meetings and observe large-scale drills. Ehime University students have also been involved in disaster prevention education in Nepal. These Japanese students have collaborated with Nepalese students to create and share education disaster prevention content to local elementary and middle school students. We believe that disaster prevention education is essential not only for saving lives, but also for fostering personal growth. Our efforts don't go unrecognized. We have earned numerous awards, including CityNet's SDG Award and various domestic recognitions in Japan. Finally, I'd like to share a story about an international student who came to Ehime University for an internship. Through our connection with CityNet this year. During her 3-month study abroad and internship, she gained valuable experience such as researching disaster prevention leadership with foreign residents and Japanese students in Matsuyama, and guest lecturing in local schools in her second language. And creating disaster prevention haiku poems with high school and university students. Visiting areas affected by past major Japanese earthquakes and investigating the Noto Peninsula earthquake that occurred on January 1st of this year. The students pictured has returned to Canada, but another Canadian student has taken her place and will be interning with me until the end of November. Please join me in welcoming Julia. Thank you, thank you. To conclude, Ehime University is dedicated to developing disaster prevention leaders of all ages. This exchange and learning of information would not have been possible without the CityNet organization and its members. We extend a huge thank you to them. We look forward to connecting, collaborating, and advancing our efforts together in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Shiba, by sharing this very important experience. Now we'd like to invite the last speaker, Milady Azul, go to the stage. She is a City Disaster Reduction and Management Officer of the City Government of Legapesi. Oh. And her presentation topic is Project Preparedness for Legacy-Panels. Okay, please.
Okay, so today I would like to present to you our project Pag-andam for Ligaspeños. That's how we pronounce it, Ligaspeños, meaning people living in Legazpi City. So this translates to disaster preparedness for Ligaspeños, which aims to enhance community-wide disaster management in the city government of Legazpi. So in this presentation, I will provide a brief overview of the city. The rationale behind the project, its strategies and specifics. So Legazpi City is home to around 210,000 population and spans approximately 162 square kilometers. So it serves as the capital of the Albay province and hosts the regional administrative and educational hubs. So the city is located within the Pacific Ring of Fire and the Pacific Ocean, which is the cooking pot of typhoons. So the location, our location basically defines the types of hazards and our exposure to these hazards. The necessity for Project Pag-andam para sa Legaspeños arises from the city's vulnerability to seismic and typhoon-related events, as well as the impacts of climate change, which intensify these existing risks. So following the 2019 climate and disaster risk assessment that we had, the city identified various hazards and evaluated its exposure to them. The assessment determined risk levels based on vulnerability and adaptive capacity. It's in terms of the metrics pre-identified, which subsequently informed the prioritization of policies, including this project. So the project encompasses 6 key strategies, namely risk assessment, monitoring and warning, public information dissemination, capacity building for response, resource management and mobilization, and community-based initiatives. These strategies are grounded in principles of inclusive participation. We have been discussing this yesterday, partnerships, and ongoing monitoring and evaluation. So for risk assessment, it involved the comprehensive understanding of community risks through the identification of hazards, their frequency, the exposure levels of the community, vulnerability, and adaptive capacity. So the insights gained guided the formulation of the disaster risk reduction management plans, including the DRRM plans for the barangays, and then barangay contingency plans, which are hazard specific, and barangay youth DRR plans. The process of monitoring and issuing warnings is centered on the detection and forecasting efforts of the National Warning Agency. So we have the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Administrative Services. So we also have the agency monitoring volcanology and seismology. So, but this is complemented by the local government for oversight. So utilizing advanced tools and technologies, the local government aimed to provide early alerts and aid us in our local decision-making regarding the potential impacts of severe weather events and the threat of tsunamis or earthquakes. We also make use of traditional indicators, such as for Mayon volcano eruption. We consider particularly reports on signs like drying up of water sources on the slopes of the volcano or the movement of wildlife into the peri-urban areas. So we have, right now we have 15 tsunami alerting sirens distributed along the coastlines of Legazpi City. We have 18 barangays along the coast, so we have a very long coastline. 15 sirens is not enough. It is just, I think, 1/3 of the total that we need. And then we were also able to install automated weather stations and tandem stations to monitor weather parameters and aid us in local decisions, because our National Weather Agency is not yet able to give forecasts for city or municipal level. It's just within the provincial level. So I think there's a lot of error in that. So we use these monitoring stations to monitor live the weather conditions that we have and aid us in whether we want to suspend classes or we already need preemptive evacuation, for flooding especially. So effective and timely communication of warnings is vital to facilitate our preemptive evacuations and implement safety measures. It is crucial that these warning messages are conveyed in a clear and comprehensive manner to all community members. So this is achieved through a combination of modern communication channels, including social media, email, broadcast media, text messaging, two-way radio, and mobile telephony. We do not have yet those mobile apps that Taiwan has or other developed countries. We cannot afford that yet. But in the meantime, what we are doing, the infographics that we have, is doing its thing to make us safe. So training in disaster response skills, including first aid and basic life support and emergency management at the barangay level, is crucial for enhancing preparedness and ensuring an effective response to emergencies. So we have the barangay DRRM committees that help in the implementation of this. So the barangay's contingency plans tailored to specific hazards guarantee the availability of essential resources, and additionally, they ensure the provision of emergency supplies, and along with facilities like evacuation centers or temporary shelters. So initiatives led by the community, barangays, are recognized within the Barangay DRRM Fund Investment Program. So financing is the best manifestation of resiliency. So they include their programs and plans in the annual investment plans or the 3-year public investment plan for the barangay. So since the program's launch in 2019, we have begun to observe its positive effects, particularly in terms of minimizing the loss of lives. So notably, we have achieved a remarkable record of 0 casualty from that time to the present. So there has been a significant decrease in property loss and damage, which can be attributed to the improvements in the construction practices among the populace. So the barangays have been empowered to adopt proactive strategies. They have also become aware of the various economical and easily implementable alternatives, such as nature-based solutions or the integration of green measures alongside traditional gray infrastructure. So this concludes my presentation. I trust that I have provided valuable information for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zhu. Now we would like to invite the first panelist, Mr. Mo Huai Zhu. He is the Commissioner, Taipei City Fire Department, to give his comments and question. Please.
各位嘉宾早安。
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to share with you, we just have the national warning happened a while ago. If it was 20 years ago, in a public occasion like this one, if we did that, people would laugh several times louder than we did. But now we had 20 years of practice. Now we know that this is a normal action due to the concrete results of our education. In our mobile phones, we have this national warning. A while ago, some people received them, others didn't receive them, and people complained, how come I didn't receive the national warning? So I think this is the topic of our discussion today. Starting from education or from individual to small groups to the whole society to the public sector. We have done a lot of education and promotion, and actually that accounts for a large part of our job. In the past, we usually promote education of firefighting. In schools, we taught children about how to prevent firing, and then we started to teach them how to prevent a disaster, for them to understand flood and earthquake. Furthermore, to know in details about the floods in Taiwan, then we have the intense rainfall, and the others were caused by typhoon. And these two, in terms of their characteristics and the possible damages, are different. We will let the kids know that they actually are different disasters. Nowadays, the kids, they can recognize them. They have the concept. Usually we believe that when you have the concept, you will have abilities to take actions. If you have education, then later on, then people can know what actions to take. So that is why we started to give education to primary schoolers, to junior high schoolers, senior high schoolers, and equip them with abilities to help others, and also university students, how to gather together to form the strengths and expand the strengths. And also in the government civil servants training, it's just like many years ago, a lot of students sitting and listening, but later we put in more practical exercises, and we have teachers to let us know how the trainees can practice on what they have learned. Unlike 30 years ago, we were given a book and then you memorize the content in the book. That's not the way we do it right now. So every time we adjust our actions, in a scenario like that, we told the students, if you have a table, you lower yourself and find some cover. And then we also teaches the students how to protect themselves and what to do if you cannot find a cover for yourself. So to protect yourself first, and then we will use the kids' power and expand their power to the communities. In the past, we loved to teach kids because when kids were here, their parents would come as well, and the parents would receive the training as well. And similarly, in our communities, we have key opinion leaders. They will lead the communities to do disaster prevention. So when we say we are developing resilient communities, we rely on the key opinion leaders like the village leaders, the village chief, or the neighborhood team. We talk to them, and they will exert their influence over the communities. Now, of course, we just randomly find them. We actually will analyze the potential damage in certain areas. For example, some flood-prone areas, then we teach them about flood prevention and make them into a flood resilience communities. And also others, we will establish earthquake resilience cities, areas. And this afternoon, we will take you to visit a community that's very touching. The community leader felt the importance and persuaded their community citizens to participate in the activities. He even thought about if disaster hits, then the community did not have the resources. Therefore, he gathered some grocery stores and involved them, and the grocery store owner say that, oh, our stores were very old. If the earthquake hit, what should I do? So they solicited donations from local people, try to gather to accumulate the resources available, and also try to persuade the citizens to prepare themselves with a disaster preparedness backpack. And people ask us what to be put in my backpack. Then, we would ask people on a weekend without turning on the air conditioning and the electricity, and ask them to try to imagine that without power, without air conditioning, what would you like to carry with you when disaster hits? And also, we would elevate people's response abilities. And in the past, people waited for the government to save them. We train a lot of disaster prevention and preparedness experts. Some of them were civil servants, others were the village leaders, local community leaders, but not enough. For example, we visited Japanese city. You know, they also have these experts, and actually we needed to find people very close to the community. They will be able to come to rescue when needed. And also thinking about utilization of technologies. For example, Taipei City, we have the disaster prevention application or line on the line group. The members in line group, they will get information. We will continue promoting these efforts from a single way to multiple ways to disseminate information. At the same time, for disaster information, we have cards and for the local people to understand. For example, several months ago, there was a fire. After that situation, we would also ask our environmental protection department to assess which areas might have air pollution after a fire. So the community leader will know what to do, informing the citizens to close their windows, etc. So this actually is a lot of workload, but that's very important to increase people's disaster awareness and also to communicate with people. In case there's a big disaster happening in the future, we will be able to do better. And here in Taipei, we have a EOC, Emergency Operations Center. The role of the EOC is to integrate the efforts from different government organizations or the private sector and the public sector. So here, the whole Taipei City being mobilized. It's not just the fire department to fight fire. And now we have an environmental protection department and also civil affairs department. They will go to the site to help people. So in terms of these, we actually have elevated people's awareness and their resilience capabilities. Thank you very much.
Experience in Taipei City. Now let's invite the second panelist, Dr. Li Weisun, to share his comments and question. Dr. Li is the Secretary General, National Science and Technology Center for Disaster Reduction. Please.
Thank you, Professor Sun. Actually, when I heard again about the national alerts of earthquake, it reminded me my job in 2015. Actually, at that time, I'm the first project overseer of the national warning system. I still remember why Taiwan have the system, because we learned experience from Japan. I remember at that time, Prime Minister Mao, when he knows Japan have 1 minute lead time in Tokyo to know earthquake from Tohoku area is coming. So he immediately think, in Taiwan, we need the same system, and we must implement it. So part of the job to my office. So we took responsibility to try to promote the system. At that time, it's quite difficult because among the transition period of 3G and 4G, telecom system is very complicated, and we have to persuade the mobile phone company to accept the idea and talk to different government agencies. We have implemented this. Finally, one afternoon, I went to the National Communication Commission. They agreed to put this service on the track, and the very next day, we had a real situation. No surprise. We received many, many complaints. A lot received duplications. A lot of people, they say, we are abandoned by our government because we didn't receive anyone. So as a disaster manager, how I respond to this situation, I immediately borrowed my friend's name. I wrote an article, put on a newspaper. I said, yes, we didn't perform well today. But if we discourage those disaster managers, they will stop doing anything in advance. So this is why I think any new things in our society, always we had to meet maybe some obstacle, maybe some difficulties, but we should keep our step moving forward. Otherwise, we cannot meet the progress of our society. In the last few years, a lot of important memory to us. Last year is 100th anniversary of the Kanto earthquake in Japan. This year is 30-year anniversary of the Northridge earthquake in California. 25 years of Chichi earthquake, 15 years of Typhoon Morocco. Next year, it will be Kobe earthquake, 30 years. Why I remember so many anniversaries? Because as a disaster manager, actually, I corrected my title, not just a simple disaster manager. I am the scientific disaster manager. Why? Maybe later you can go out to see the booth, my office booth. We try to make science and technology to help our government, to help our citizens for disaster risk reduction, emergency response, even plan for disaster risk reduction. So we think we are scientific disaster manager. So actually, before I come in here, I was joining a webinar, EEI webinar. EEI is the California Earthquake Engineering Association. Today's topic they want to learn from Hualien earthquake. But my point is, Hualien earthquake is 25-year preparedness for the big one. Actually, since Chichi earthquake, as mentioned by Professor Sun, we continue our learning process. We try to learn from US, we try to learn from Japan. We try to make our country, city, community safer and resilient. It's not achievement in one day, it's 25 years preparation and effort. So I'm glad to see a lot of mentors in my early career as a disaster manager like the Professor Sun and the Professor Xiong and Professor Zhou. They are good mentors to me. They want to pass their experience, knowledge to me so I can carry on. So as a disaster manager, I also have the big worry about young generation participation. Now, I'm at my late 50s. I want to find someone have the kind of passionate, want to join the job. I know it is very difficult because disaster manager never make money, never make money, big money. Always have a lot of complaint. We didn't like kind of the emergency responder. They can save life from debris. So they have spotlight. Disaster manager, maybe 20 years later, people will think, oh, at that time, because the huge project reduced our casualties. So it's our destiny. But very important thing, I try to conclude some word I heard from the four speakers. First, we talk about leader and leadership. It's very important at a community because disaster manager like me, we cannot be with community forever. So leadership is very important. Second thing, awareness. If people don't think disaster risk reduction is important mission for their lifetime, so we fail because we need education. That's mentioned by Commissioner Moore. Taipei City tried to educate young kids. So kind of the cultural, kind of life culture from school to family. Another thing is about the education in school or to the adult. It's very important. Continue, improve the knowledge. You know, when I was a kid, we never follow drop, cover, and hold on. Our instruction is first, open the door, turn off power and the fire. Now we told our audience that is wrong. We don't have to mind door open or close. Since you keep alive, someone will rescue out. So we have to advance our knowledge about student education. Another thing, we need to drill. We need exercise to mobilize our people. So this is why tomorrow afternoon, Taipei City also has a festival in the Dr. Sen Yun-shen Memorial Hall, try to collect family, students, give them new knowledge about what is the policy countermeasure in Taipei City. And another very important thing is about the comprehensive disaster and climate risk management. Of course, we don't have the one-size-fits-all solution, but we can have one stone hit two-bird policy because we don't have a lot of money invest both on disaster risk reduction and climate change. How about to combine the two? Maybe last few point is how we can the whole society involvement in the CRM, comprehensive disaster and climate risk management, because it should be the social movement. Next week, we're going to have, in coming week, we're going to have the climate change impact on ocean. I'm going to chair one section about to have the voice from young generation. So for a young generation, like kind of climate native, since they're born, they know the issue about the climate change. How about the adult? How about people over 50, even 60? How we have whole society involvement? Last point is we should emphasize both physical and social vulnerability. Our society, our community is organic, is dynamic, no matter how is the demographic structure. In Taiwan, we face aging society. We had our migrant workers from different countries. They are kind of the new factor to our society when I consider about resilience. So this is why sometimes I review the project of Taipei City. I always mention about please pay attention to our migrant workers because they are responsible taking care of our elders. So I think the CityNet, we share a lot of value about disaster risk reduction, but most important part, how we bring the shared memory back to share with our partner, to share with the one we love. Thank you. That's my comment.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Lee, for your comment and question. Now, we'd like to invite the fourth speaker to respond to panelists' comments and questions. And for Japanese, if you want to use Japanese, okay. Mr. Kendra can translate for you, okay? So, anyone who would like to go first? Okay.
I just give my comment. Actually, I totally agree. Our panelists, what they mentioned. So especially Dr. Lee, he mentioned the same as my point. Drill, some disaster drill is very important. So we hold many drill to our community, and for this year we start to another small project. We apply the HCIP. Do you hear that before? HCIP, that means is from American Homeland Security. HS Homeland Security evaluation and exercise program. And we want to apply this program to our community. So we make some larger scale scenario for our community. Let them imagine that if you suffer a big earthquake, and then what have you to do? So this year we start to promote this program to our communities. Maybe more and more people, they will, as Dr. Lee mentioned, awareness is very important. So we want to, based on this drill, to let our people to know disaster prevention is very important, and there are many disaster potential around our community. That's my point. Yeah, thank you.
今皆さんのお話を聞かれて、ご感想とかもし質問とかがあれば言ってください。
すみません、スピークジャパニーズ。私がいつも防災 の取り組みに、携わるときに念頭に置いているのが、人は忘れる生き物である、熱しやすく冷めやすい生き物であるっていうところです。
Whenever I work in the disaster prevention field or area, one thing that I keep in mind is that people always forget.
そのため、例えば防災士として身につけた知識も使わなければ忘れてしまうし、技術も失われていく。で、災害が起こって、災害の備えに気をつけてても平穏な日が続けば、また災害に対する備えの気持ちが薄れていく。
So that means even if we teach different skills or knowledge, like we shared earlier to Bosai-shi, these people may also forget if they do not have the practice, or if the normal situation, safe situation continues for a very long time, people will forget about their skills and ability.
だからそれを防ぐために、私たちはもうさまざまな刺激を与え続ける。
So in order to prevent the loss of knowledge which has already been transferred, we always try to trigger them with some activities or motivation.
それは訓練であったり、研修であったり、あるいは遊びであったり、いろんな形で、その知識、技術を忘れさせないような取り組みを続けています。
So that means the activities that we do are the drills, for example, or we also introduce various types of games so that people continue to remember what they have learned. And also we try and talk with them, have consultations so that they do not forget about their skills and technical ability.
それでも私たちは行政的にはですね、人の数も予算も限られている中でやっているので、どうにかして自主性とか自発性を喚起する取り組みをこれから進めていきたいというふうに考えています。
However, because we are the local government authority, our manpower is limited and our budget is also limited. That's why we try to maintain this knowledge among the people so that they can practice it themselves and continue the process of sharing and learning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
はい、コメンテーターの方の意見にもあったんですけど、防災教育っていうのがとてもやっぱりおっしゃる通り大事だと思っています。
As we heard from the previous panelists also, I believe that disaster education is very important.
So we tried a lot of many kind of lectures, training, drills, but we couldn't save citizens' lives because great disaster is なんて言ったらいいかなとても私たちの想像を超えてくるっていうことで。
So because disasters sometimes are too overwhelming. So even if we try a lot, we are not able to save everyone's lives.
我々が思うのは防災教育こそが唯一たくさんの人の命を救えるものだと思っています。
So fundamentally speaking, we really think that disaster education is the only way that we can really save a lot of lives.
なぜなら私たちも日本でたくさん災害が起こっている日本でも私たちの世代は防災教育を受けてきませんでした。
So even in a country like Japan, where we have a lot of disasters, in my age group, we never received such disaster education.
おそらくここにいる皆さんも幼い頃防災教育を受けてない人が多いと思います。
And I believe that many of us who are here today, and probably you also did not receive disaster education when you were small or when you were children.
子供の頃に教わった体験であったり、教育であったりっていうのは大人になっても忘れないので、防災の教育を小さい頃から継続していくということが本当に多くの人の命を守ることにつながると思っています。
But if we learn something at a very early age, we will retain that knowledge, and also we will retain that skill as we grow up, and that will connect to saving a lot of lives when disasters happen.
そのためには行政であったり、我々大学であったり、市民の方であったりがやっぱりたくさんのステークホルダーが一緒になって子どもたちへの教育をするというのがこれまでの取り組みで感じてきました。
So from my experience, I believe that working together with the city government, working together with the universities, working together with the private sector is a very collective way of disseminating this awareness to save a lot of lives.
でまたこうしたところでそうした取り組みを皆さんにも知ってもらって、世界の中で、みんながつながって世界中の人が助かるような防災教育ができたらなと思っています。
So this is basically what we do in Japan, but by sharing this internationally or globally, we hope that a lot of lives can be saved globally as well.
Thank you.
I agree with the statement made regarding the consideration for physical and social vulnerabilities. So in the Philippines, we conduct climate and disaster risk assessments. So we have a lot of indicators to measure vulnerability, the vulnerability score. So it considers all aspects of the social dimensions of the people involved. So it is critical because the higher the vulnerability score, the higher the risk score. So in determining these vulnerabilities, we'll be able to identify policies and solutions to reduce that score. And then later it will translate into adaptive capacity, therefore reducing the risk score. And I also agree with the conduct of regular drills. We also do that in the Philippines. We actually have the quarterly national simultaneous earthquake drills. And on top of that, each local government unit conducts its own drills for several sectors like the business, education, the whole community. So this helps us remember what we should do. We also do memorial days, especially remembering worst case scenarios. So in Legazpi City, we had in 2006 the Typhoon Durian, in which we had lahar. So it cost us a lot of lives. Some are still missing until today. So there were a lot of injuries. We did not have power and water for almost 3 months. That was the darkest Christmas that we had in 2006. So we remember this every year so that the people will remember what it cost, what it did, and what lessons we learned from that event. Thank you.
Thank you. The time is up. Maybe I can invite one question or comment from the floor. Anyone? You have a comment? Okay, please. Please give the microphone.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's.
Sorry, I'm acting as devil's advocate. What I wanted to ask you is this: that what is the cost of disaster preparedness? And the reason I'm asking this question is this: that disaster preparedness, many times people think, is a luxury of the privileged. Especially in countries which are poor. Like say in India, we have 800 million people who get ration food subsidy every day. If that is the kind of situation, what is the priority? Is preparedness that kind of priority? Can you invest so much? And how do you reduce costs of preparedness? That's a larger issue. And to everyone, because you've been working on this, like even Japan said, their budget is limited. If the budget is limited in Japan, imagine what will happen to developing countries. So is there a way, is any work happening in terms of reducing the cost and sharing the costs of preparedness for people who are not very privileged?
Okay, thank you. This is a very good question. Anyone want to respond? Because if like a country like India have so many people and so many poor people, how do you prepare them? Maybe community disaster preparedness is a way to work out. Yeah, right. But anyone want to comment?
今の質問は基本その防災にかかる予算っていうのがどういうものなのかで、インドはやはり毎日食料も自分で買えない人たちがいっぱいいる。そういうところでどういうふうに防災に対して予算を割り当てるのか。で日本でも先ほど皆さんが日本の市でも防災の予算が少ないっていうことをおっしゃってました。となるとインドみたいなところはもうどんなふうになってしまうんでしょうか。なのでその防災をお金をあまりかけないでどういう形の防災ができるかっていう質問です。
Thank you for question. 確かに日本でも防災にかける予算っていうのは少ない行政自治体が多いですね。
Yes, like you rightly explained right now, even in Japan, the city governments do not have a lot of budget for disaster management.
例えば津波が来るなら堤防を高く工事したり高い建物を建てたり、そういうのはすごく大きな予算が必要になってきます。
For example, for tsunami prevention, you need to do a lot of hard infrastructure construction and maybe build tall buildings. So those kind of investments need a lot of money.
しかし、いくらそうしたインフラを作っても、やはり人々が逃げる意識だったり逃げる知識を持ってないと助からなかったのがこれまでの日本の大災害です。
So from Japanese experience, even if the government spent a lot of money on hard infrastructure, if people do not know how to act when the disasters happen, if they do not know how to prevent, then there is no use investing a very large amount of money for such infrastructure.
じゃあどうすれば助かるというと、多くの人々に知識を持って避難をする意識を持ってもらうことが助かる方法だと今日本では考えられています。
So in Japan, we believe that we really need to teach people about the risks that they face in their area and about how to evacuate if such risks are imminent. So that is the only way that they can save their lives.
災害を防ぐ大きな工事にはお金はかかりますが、教育にはそれほどお金はかかりません。
So in essence, it will cost a lot of money for infrastructure projects, but for educating people, the cost will be much lower.
なので、教育の現場で継続して災害に対して備えることを教えることは、そんなにお金をかけずに多くの人が助かる道だというふうに思っています。
So in my opinion, in order for people to get good knowledge, good education about disaster prevention, if we integrate that into the school education programs, then that will help pass the knowledge down without spending a lot of money.
日本はインドほどたくさんの人いませんけど、日本の中でも 人が多いところ少ないところありますが、やはり共通してみんながそうした知識を持って、しっかりと災害に対して意識を持つということが大切だというふうに思います。
So I think that obviously we do not have a very large population like in India, but even in Japan we have a very densely populated areas and areas where we do not have many people. But one common thing that we need to do, whether there's a lot of people or not, is to provide the same level of education and awareness so that everyone knows what to do during disasters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the CityNet and the Japanese colleague to help so many cities. And please join me to give a broad applause to 4 speakers and 2 outstanding panelists. Thank you for their presentation. And I would like to close this section. You can have a break. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, thanks to Professor Sun Zhihong for your very kind moderation. So I would like to invite everyone to rise and come in the center stage for a group photo. And our photographer is ready to take this very great picture. All right, we still have the 2 different poses. So one, you can just stand firm and be aware about your badge. Make it neat. All right, smile, face forward. Okay, that's the first one. And the second one, everybody please, 一级棒呢, thumbs up to the success of the CityNet Disaster Cluster Seminar on the Day 2, Session 4. Thank you very much. Thank you once again. And ladies and gentlemen, current now is 10:32. We have about 8 minutes break, about probably extend to 10. So the next session officially will start at 10:40. So I will invite you come back again. So now it's a break time. Please, you can enjoy the coffee, tea, and have the free networking. Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. Now it's 10 to 11 o'clock. So I would like to call upon the next session. It's session 5. The title is Climate Change, Adapting Actions. So I would like to call on several guests on the stage to do the panel discussion and presentation. So we are very pleased to have the Professor Ben Chua, Zhou Zhongdao, from Department of the Atmospheric Science, National Taiwan University, Taipei, to moderate this session. Please welcome Professor Zhou. And in this session, the speaker, including the Lin Ziping, who is the distinguished professor from Department of the Architecture, National Cheng Gong University, that is in Tainan City. And then the second speaker is the director of the Disaster Prevention Plan and Measures Division, Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, Bangkok, Thailand, the Phairote Junjue. Please. And the next speaker, the director of the project administration, CityNet Yokohama Project Office from Yokohama, Japan, Akiko Yamakoshi. And the next speaker, Chief Executive Officer, Human and Environment Link Progressive Organization, GAL, Mr. Chathara Walivitia. Please. And also the department head from Mandal City Environment and Natural Resources Office, Mandal Aseseli Gahi Balam. And special invited panelist, Xu Shixun, who is the commissioner from Department of Environmental Protection, Taipei City Government, 台北市政府环保局局长徐世新徐局长担任我们的座谈贵宾。So it's time I turn the floor to the moderator, Professor Zhou Zhongdao, please.
Good morning. It's my honor to chair this session, and this is the topic is really important to our CityNet disaster cluster. Okay, climate change especially caused by the global warming, has been draw a lot of attention and also cause a lot of disaster to the cities, to our people. And the recent records we have is in last year, 2023, the global average temperature is about 1.6 degrees Celsius, higher than the pre-industrial, okay, a few hundred years ago. So it's a really a big issue now. And the climate change, okay, the consequence of this global warming had caused a lot of disasters. And for example, the intense hurricanes, intense typhoons, very frequent heavy rainfall for cities, floodings, landslides, and also this warm temperature causes a lot of warm heat wave, warm disasters. So we need to take some actions in order to reduce this disaster cost risk and vulnerability. Okay, and for the adapting action, at least there are 4 options we can think of. That's infrastructure or institutional, behavior, or nature-based options. And in this session, we have 5 speakers and also 1 panelist. They will talk about the actions, adapting actions for the climate change around our area, different cities. For example, Professor Lin from Cheng Kung University, who will talk about how to deal with hot summer, warm temperature in the city, okay? And Akiko, she will talk about Yokohama, right? And Paroti, talk about Bangkok. And Palang, and talk about the Mandawi in the Philippines. And Chachua from Gala. And also our Commissioner Xu, he will talk about the Taipei City, okay? So I think this is a particular opportunity for us. Is especially important to share experience, okay, from our neighboring cities, okay, and we are looking forward to a successful session. Okay. I will start my introduction here, and I would like to invite our first speaker, Professor Lin, to give a talk, okay?
Oh, I think good morning, everyone. I think yesterday we have a very nice dinner. I got a very good tea bags from Sri Lanka and also good singer from Philippines. So when we enjoy the indoor good food and the very cool temperature inside, but we should think about when we go outside, we are suffering a very hot summer this year. But I'm afraid that this summer will be the coolest summer for this year or for your whole year, because next year we will meet maybe another warmer condition. So this topic, we will talk about the urban heat island and also coupled with climate change issues in Taipei. So we are suffering a very hot summer in Taipei. So how to deal with that? How to cooling Taipei? Is that possible? Is that possible to decrease the air temperature or try to adapt to the climate or try to let us feel better? So my topic is achieving a 2 degrees C perceived temperature reduction policy. It's a policy right now in Taipei City. And yesterday, Zhang Wen, the 副秘书长, he told me that this policy already proved some days before in Taipei city government. So today I will share about how to deal with the hot condition in Taipei and how we use the climate change data to help Taipei city government to help them to organize a policy and talk with the people how we deal with the temperature, how to make citizens feel better. And this temperature shows this year in the red color, we're much higher than the other years since maybe 100 or 200 years ago. So we are increasing about 1.5 degrees Celsius. It's close to the temperature threshold that we imagine, but it will increasing. But what's happened in Taipei cities? Our group in NCKU, in Department of Architecture, our group, we set up some IoT sensors on the street, and we also couples with Central Weather Administration, 中央气象署, the temperature data. So we plot in the temperature. We are talking about the temperature, and we want you to see the temperature all around the year. So you will see, because Taipei is a basin, so the warm and very hot air will accumulate in the center of the basin, like Zhongzheng, Wanhua, or the Banqiao in Taipei, New Taipei City. So if we show this 3 years urban heat island map, you're finding that the extreme temperature is not going higher because it's still in, I think, 2020, year 2020 in July, we have 39.7 degrees Celsius. But you see the temperature, high temperature area are expanding. It runs all around the Taipei city, not only the basin, center basin of the Taipei. And if we see widely, you will see the temperature are close to the Taoyuan city. I think some guess you take airplane from and at Taoyuan airport. It's about maybe 40 kilometers, so the temperature is spacing. And we also work with the group in Tokyo City. They are expanding about 60 kilometers hotspot in the inland of Tokyo City. So how we help Taipei City to deal with this issue? Because right now, Taiwan government have already announced the Climate Change Response Act. So we have a legal base. Then there are some temperature increasing scenario based on the IPCC AR6. So we use this scenario to let the people know what we are suffering now and what will happen in the future. So at first, based on this information, and we know our perceived temperature around 41. What is perceived? When you go outside, your perceived temperature may be 42 or 45, even your temperature, air temperature will be 32, because we have a strong radiation by the sun, or we have a very weak wind, that will cause us feel uncomfortable. So based on this current situation, and we have the risk, we calculate the risks in the future. For example, we take the Zhongzheng and Wanhua district, for example. We found that based on this kind of scenario, we will raise to maybe 3 months uncomfortable period around the whole year. So that's a gap. That's a gap we have to deal with, because we might feel uncomfortable in the future. So we defined +2 degrees C or +4.1 for the extreme climate change scenario. So based on this kind of information, we have to organize like a function for the Department of Urban Development, 都市发展局 in Taipei City. So we can decrease the air temperature, or we can increase the wind speed, or reduce the solar radiation by the tree shade or arcade in the streets. So based on that, on this policy, we might feel better if we do it right now. So we have a climate observation, and also we have some function, and this function turned to be easy because all the architect and the urban planners, they should apply. Of course, at first they are complaining about that. Why we don't have enough space? Why we need more greenery area? But based on our scenario, if you don't do it right now, you will suffering a higher temperature that you can not tolerate. So we have a sentence that cooler Taipei and a happier citizen. So in Taipei City, the Mayor Zhang, he announced that the importance of the 2 degrees C reduction policy, 降温2度C. This policy will contribute not only to decrease the temperature, but also eliminate the CO2 emission, and also expand the CO2 fix for the trees. And based on this way, and we can control the humidity, radiation, and wind speed, and also heating. So you'll find this kind of function will involve in the planning and design. For example, you need to have enough greenery to decrease the air temperature. You need to create enough shade for the citizen in the pedestrian level, and that you feel comfortable. So they have a long process of policy, and I'm glad to know that they, in Taipei City, we have already achieved some agreement for this kind of policy. For example, in the future, in the Taipei City, in the future, and we will have a much wider gate for the building, and the wind can go through the building site, and we have more greenery and more infiltrate pavement. So we deal with not only the heat, but also the water in the city. In Taipei, we have very good greenery infrastructure, but we still need to do more. Let me take an example. This is a public housing, 广慈社宅. It's very nice, and I take a lot of reporters go later. They found there are a lot of older people. They enjoy the shades there, and we have a good gate. This is Songshan 健康公仔, and it keeps the wind goes through the building site. And this is 青年住宅. It's close to the Wanhua area. They have a very wide gate, about 30 meters. The wind can go through from the cool parks. So in 广慈社宅, there is a very beautiful shade. It's art, but it also creates a shade for the people when they are walking. And we have a 4 meters wide arcade, 骑楼. it's good not only for the walking. I think I saw some people just ride a bike there, and they are not suffering the rain or the radiation. So, and we also make some measurement. We use this kind of WBGT glove temperature to calculate. And you know, if you are staying on the shade, you will have a 6 degree C reduction compared to the open area. So it was very comfortable. So based on this pathway, we use these pathways to decrease the CO2 emission. And the most important is the justice. When we have this kind of transition, how to make it justice. So right now, as I know, in Taipei City, we are focused on some important part to create the justice. And I'm glad that I can represent the Department of Urban Development, and thanks 张文德秘书长、王玉芬局长 and 林之宇专委. Thanks for the colleagues in the city government and work with the university, and we can bring a cooler city in Taipei City. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Lin. That's a very interesting talk. It's an ambitious policy to keep, decrease the perceived temperature 2 degrees down. It will be benefit to all the citizens. Okay, and our second speaker is Priority Genja. Okay. It's your turn. That's Bangkok and the new challenges toward climate change from Bangkok. Yeah.
Good afternoon. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Thai language. My name is Pairot Chantia. But English language is Pairote. But Thai language is Pairot. Pirate. Nickname is Road. Okay. Today, if you see my hand, is a check, not because it's exciting, but because it's an aftershock for earthquake. It's a moment ago. Today, I will be speak. Topic is a challenge of Bangkok for the climate change. On behalf of Bangkok, I feel very honored to attend this meeting. Climate change is a serious threat to humanity and keep increase. Currently, we can see that many disasters have occurred that never happened. The seasons have changed. Seasonal disasters are become more deadly than ever. All these threats come from the overuse of our natural resources, but we have no way to replace them. Bangkok is another area or another city that are affected by climate change, and it's considered a challenge for Bangkok as the capital of Thailand. What to do? What is the role toward dealing with the climate change condition, which still use resources, including carrying out activity that promotes climate change all the time. In 2011, there were major floods in Thailand. This is considered the other half of the great flood in history. In the flood at that time, causing great damage to the country more than 100 planes, companies, and stores were submerged in the water. We must use resources and plenty of time to heal until it returns to its original state. That is another event that is affected by climate change. Mainly from the phenomenon at that time, Bangkok, including the Thai government, has given great importance to this matter. It's a startup for the Bangkok has created a vision on climate change for 2030 and 2050 in the climate change master plan of Bangkok as follows. Vision for 2030 is a Bangkok move toward a green, livable, and climate resilient city under nationwide collaboration for sustainable development. And vision for 2050 is a Bangkok as livable and innovative city, pursuing efforts to achieve net zero emission and enhancing resilience in all aspects. The formulation of adaptation action plan begins with an assessment of the severity of the hazard affecting Bangkok and the vulnerability to different types of hazards. According to the climate hazards assessment, there are 5 hazards that must be considered for the Bangkok. It's a tropical cyclone, urban flood, coastal flood, river flood, and extreme heat. The vulnerability assessment data show that these hazards are in the line with the 6 target sectors of the Nation Adaptation Plan. The determination of Bangkok Adaptation Plan is therefore designed to be in line with the goal of the Nation Plan to ensure policy consistency. Ensure policy consistency and support implementation at the national level. The plan consists of the 6 sectors. Each one is water resource management, and 2 is the agriculture and food security, and 3, tourism, public health, natural resource management, and human settlement and security. However, scope of the master plan defines the coverage area of the climate change is accordance with the geographical boundary under the Bangkok supervision. The scope of the implementation involves 5 main sectors. Is transportation, energy, waste and wastewater management, green urban planning, and adaptation. In addition, Bangkok had a partnership with the national government, ministry, and agency take a major responsibility to mitigation and adaptation to climate change. There is a mutual agreement to process as follows, and it was to establish well-balanced action to harness economic and social development and climate change. Take comprehensive approach to the low carbon and climate change resilience urban development and action-oriented approach to the implementation of the master plan as vehicle in an evolving nature. Promotes action by citizens, the private sector, academy, as well as other key players to mitigation and adaptation to climate change. We show involve a multi-channel communication platform, innovation way of the promotion schemes, and low carbon technology, leapfrogging. As leading city of the Southeast Asia, and the world takes proactive measures to mitigation and adaptation to climate change is short, mid, and long term. From the preliminary information that I have presented, it is only a framework and the main principle of Bangkok that recognize and give importance to this matter. But various operations by Bangkok, just one and two, would not be able to success. If there is a lack of the cooperation from agency, organization, and network partner in the able section, especially cities from around the world. We are Bangkok. I really hope that we will hold hands and work together to be ready to deal with climate change. When safety is a life, we must make every life for safety. And we will win together. Thank you.
Microphone is closed. Thank you, Parrot. Yeah, and our third speaker, she is from Yokohama, right? And Akiko, please. Yeah, I should spell your full name. Akiko Yamakoshi. Yeah, please.
Hello everyone, my name is Akiko Yamakoshi from CityNet Yokohama Project Office. On behalf of Yokohama, I am honored to have this precious opportunity to address you today. In recent years, typhoons and torrential rains have become more frequent around the world due to climate change. Yokohama City is no exception. These rains can cause rivers to overflow, flooding homes and roads, and causing landslide and other damage. Yokohama City is proactively facing these challenges and is adapting through collaboration among citizens, businesses, and government. To begin, let me give you an overview of Yokohama City. Yokohama is conveniently located 30 minutes from Tokyo by train. With a population of 3.7 million, it is the second largest city after Tokyo. Yokohama has long flourished as a port town today it continues to develop as a center of commerce, industry, and tourism. Yokohama has an uneven landscape with many hills and rivers. The city's green spaces and agricultural lands are decreasing due to urbanization. Because of this, the city is at high risk of flood damage from heavy rains and typhoons. Yokohama City has developed its own regulation and plans based on international frameworks and the Japan's national plan. To reduce the effect of climate change, we aim to achieve decarbonization by 2050. And what we cannot stop, we aim to adapt by creating a safe, secure, and sustainable city. To realize these goals, we are implementing a variety of both structural and non-structural climate change measures. I would like to introduce some specific climate change adaptation measures taken by the city of Yokohama. First, the city has constructed rainwater pipes and regulation basins, including the 20-kilometer-long large-scale Nippasuehiro trunk line, with a maximum diameter reaching 8.5 meters. It is wider than a subway tunnel. The photo on the right shows a flood control basin that was built to prevent flooding of the Tsurumi River, which has long been known as a river quick to overflow. The maximum amount of water that can be stored is 3.9 million cubic meters. As shown in the bottom right-hand photo, it made big news in 2019 when a Rugby World Cup match was held the day after a typhoon hit the area. In addition to these, we are rebuilding aging facilities, removing riverbed built-up, and installing cameras for monitoring in order to cope with heavy rain of 60 millimeters each hour. In recent years, Yokohama has also been introducing green infrastructure as a sustainable and effective adaptation measures that utilizes the power of nature. Examples include the introduction of rainwater storage and permeation facilities, water-conserving pavement, and the development of parks and green spaces. As urbanization has progressed, rainfall has become more difficult to permeate into the ground, and water circulation functions have worsened, leading to the risk of rainwater flowing directly into rivers in a short period of time, resulting in rapid river flooding. These green infrastructures are expected to reduce rainwater outflow and mitigate flood damage. They also help mitigate the heat island effect and improve comfort through a green environment. The lower right photo shows a rain garden that temporarily stores rainwater from walkways for use in watering green areas. In addition, we provide subsidies to citizens for the installation of home-use stormwater units and stormwater storage tanks. No matter how much infrastructure is provided by the government, it is necessary for citizens themselves to take actions to avoid danger through self-help and mutual aid in times of emergency. Yokohama City is working to for this purpose, it is important to raise awareness of disaster prevention. Yokohama City is working to create an environment in which residents can easily obtain disaster-related information. The mediums used include its website, email, SNS, and the Yokohama Evacuation Navigation application to disseminate disaster prevention information, such as landslide disaster warning information, river water levels, weather warning and cautions, and so on. In addition, we distribute hazard map and My Timeline seeds to all households to encourage each and every citizen to create an action plan for disaster preparedness. Furthermore, Japan has a traditional community organization, and the city is working with these 2,800 neighborhood associations to hold frequent workshops and disaster drills. This has facilitated public understanding of decarbonization and response to the climate crisis, and has increased public involvement in climate change actions. As mentioned, Yokohama City is working to protect the lives and property of its citizens from the challenges caused by climate change through the comprehensive promotion of tangible and intangible measures. Climate change is an urgent issue that needs to be addressed on a global scale and can no longer be solved by the efforts on one city alone. Yokohama City is strengthening its partnership with the international community by sharing knowledge and experience on climate change measures through international city networks such as CityNet, GCOM, and SUPORTI. The Asia Smart City Conference held annually in Yokohama brings together Asian leaders to discuss urban issues in Asia. This year's conference will be held next month from the 22nd to 24th under the theme of decarbonization and green transformation. And a CityNet SDGs cluster seminar will be held within the ASCC to discuss the synergy between SDGs and climate change. You can check the 13th ASCC website from the QR code, and the detailed program and speaker information will be updated at a later date. Please join us in Yokohama. And in 2027, Yokohama will host the International Horticultural Exhibition. Through this and other international events, Yokohama will disseminate its effort toward a new green society, both domestically and internationally. We look forward to seeing you in Yokohama. Let's get through challenges together toward a sustainable future by taking full advantage of the power of people-centered cities. Thank you very much. Doshari.
As you can see, that Yokohama City is a very active city. many activity. Very good. And our fourth speaker, this gentleman is from Gali, right? Okay. And Mr. Chachua Willy Vitia, please. He's going to talk about a community-centered approach to preparedness, empowering local voices for sustainable cities.
Good morning, Professor and everybody. My name is Chatura Valivitia. I am responsible for HELPO organization as a CEO in Sri Lanka. We are working in Sri Lanka based in Gold City, southern part of Sri Lanka. It is a beautiful coastal city and foremost most attractive tourist destination with number of historical locations. I want to talk about our experience using committee-centric method for the sustainable and disaster preparation today, showing how empowering local voice critical it's creating more resilient communities. Before that, I want to mention about our objective as a community create organization. Our vision is community development, social justice, and safe environment for all. Our vision is identify that need to of rest convert community on Sri Lanka and implemented effective solution through integrated approach with the participation of stakeholders. Our approach is based several fundamental issues, ideas, empowering mitigation, communication, both society and equitability, fostering community leadership and participation, promoting of environment through integrated sustainable process, and upgrading human rights and justice in all our effects. I am honest to share with you in few the prototype project we are currently with highlight how those in fact work well in tracking the environmental and disaster issues of today. One of our most significant endorsed in the Goal Clean and Green City project, which combine organic waste management, sustainability, energy production, and environmental management, is one of our major projects. Number of hospital, release place, factories, hotel, and local authorities are using clean energy for setting up biogas plant. In addition to that, there are community-based plants that shared among community. Biogas plant help to generate clean energy, organic fertilizer, and create organic home garden, and promoting a sustainable lifestyle as a local community level. Community adaptation for the climate disaster can minimize the prevention methane gas emission due to the organic waste with the community approach. Goal Clean and Green City project are one of the significant projects that are implemented. City greening progress where carry out the participation of different stakeholders. Due to the success of the project, today we can see larger trees among the coastal belt of the city. This tree line as a protected barrier on the tsunami time to protect number of the people life without which way to the sea. In addition, we are tracking the visual issues with the plastic and glass waste toward the community solid waste management program with CityNest by name this project. We hope replicate environmental waste management technology with voluntary recycling solution resulting in the cleaner, greener goal. We are during the number of the city cleaning and beach cleanup program with the wider stakeholder participation regularly. This also helped to mitigate the flood and due to the blocking the drainage with the city heavy rain season. The particular we are during the number of cleaning the stakeholders. In the goal, city has a biodiversity thought is a coastal city. Therefore, we are always try to curriculum the community regarding the biodiversity and importance present it especially. We are number of the program to educate the school community by during the biodiversity mapping and biodiversity visit. I am happy to mention we are the main stakeholder preparation on National Action Plan on Plastic Waste Management 2021-2030 together with the Ministry of Environment Sri Lanka and IGS Japan. Moreover, and effect the innovative beyond local project, we are implemented AI enable smart CCTV system in monitoring plastic waste in goal, main water canal, this model in goal. This technology always up together real-time duty, enabling evidence-based decision-making and priority monitoring strategy and reduce the plastic pollution. Under the Clean Green City Blue Ocean project, we are able to do the waste audit, waste and waste survey. With that inputs, we have done the integrated solid waste management plan for the city in goal. In addition to that, plastic waste-free city project implemented with the aim of carry out ocean free of plastic. This project addressing the plastic pollution and land as well in the sea, in water. We are testing that program for imported area to the make survey in work. Plastic waste free school, plastic waste free hotel, plastic waste free fishing harbor, and plastic waste free textile industries. One of the highlights of our progress has been the introduction of the Pirika app for plastic waste monitoring. Tool the comprehensive not only help for but also school children and community members to take an active role of the addressing plastic waste challenges. Accordingly, we are invested in how 3R, reduce, reuse, recycling principle might be implemented more successfully. In the fisheries industry, choosing a gap analysis survey, one proactive communications with the fishing and hospitality industries as external to making sure that those sectors implemented long-term sustainability practice. We have identified involved students in video, competitive and exhibition, giving them the tool in become a change against fostering and feeling environmental responsibility. Each and every one of those sectors curriculum, our conclusion plan, climate, estimate to the plastic waste. We have create resource book for the school in the education sector which provide a systematic advice for the carrying down of the plastic waste. We are collaborating closely with the leader in the hospital sector to implement best practice for the waste management such as the microplastic segregation filter system. Our work in those fields so that with environmental sustainability and disaster preparation and throughout the integrated, incorporate and community practice, they are pre-form based. Innovation and cooperation contest to be foundation. Our approach, we are more forward. For example, the Pirika app and use our microplastic sampling innovative, which was introduced in June 2022 in track microplastic combination. Our educational outreach campaign and future mitigation measures are being photoshopped by the project finding. We are few done, but we are effect as a generate recognition and global scale ingredient honor like the Energy Global Award and the Earth Care Award. Our plan to expand their effective across the nation and worldwide. We will be based on the lesson we have learned, especially them making Gold City plastic waste free project replicate into the other area. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, very interesting. Introduce of the Help All. And our fifth speaker is Balat from Mandalay city. And she is going to talk about rising from the ashes, okay? Building green for resilient communities. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Professor Chow. Ni hao. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Mayor of Mandaue, Mayor Jonas Cortez, please allow me to give you a glimpse of the climate change adapting journey of Mandaue City. Mandaue became a highly urbanized city in 1991 with an average population of not more than 400,000 in one of the smallest cities in the country in land area. So unlike my sisters and brothers here from Iloilo City, Makati City, and Legazpi City, we have a very small land area of only about 32 square kilometers. Mandaue is the smallest, also not only the smallest, but the second most dense, highly urbanized city outside the country's capital. So of course, we do have our share of urban ills. Mandaue City's high density and rapid urban growth face many challenges. That includes decent housing. The city's Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office has responded to a total of 106 fire incidents for 2023 alone. 32 were residential. For this year until June 2024, the city has already responded to 95 fire incidents, 30 of which were residential. Not good. In fact, the numbers are scary. I hope we can agree with Elizabeth Edwards that resilience is accepting our new reality, even if it's less good than the one that we had before. You can fight it, you can do nothing but scream about what you've lost, or you can accept that and try to put together something that's good. So for building resiliency in the face of climate change, what has the city put together that's good? December 2019, the city crafted, together with the Institute for Climate and Sustainable Cities, CORDAID, Partners for Resilience, Wetlands International, and the Philippine Red Cross, among others, the first of its kind climate change adaptation framework, which significantly became the core of our environmental code, a landmark legislation of the city in 2023. Why move for Mandaue? What drives us? We need to find a balance between resilient economy, sustainable environment, to build resilient communities for the overall well-being of each Mandaue citizen. Now, who moves Mandaue? We have inter- and intra-department project teams who make governance a shared responsibility through a monitoring system called the Performance Governance System, or the PGS. This system starts with our strategy map showing our city's vision to be a resilient city driven by manufacturing-based retail and service, micro, small, medium, and medium enterprises by 2027. When it comes to building green for resilient communities, all roadmaps are checked. Truly gearing towards people-centered resilience cities. Based on approved CLUP and the local shelter plan of the city, we have a total of 10,439 housing backlog and expected to increase to 17,000 by the end of 2029. The land available intended for housing project is indeed not sufficient. To address the need, the city identified two key strategies. First is land banking, to ensure availability of land for future projects. And second, in alignment with our comprehensive land use plan, is building disaster-resilient, multi-story tenement housing. So, the city identified 6 socialized housing sites. Today, allow me to show you our socialized housing site in Tipolo. Dawn of June 27, 2019, a devastating fire tore through Tipolo. It was a miracle that nobody died, but the fire razed 500 homes and left over 1,200 families homeless. The aftermath looked like a virtual war zone. But from the ashes of that 2019 fire, now it is a site of unprecedented transformation. The Tipolo Residences, our collective housing community. This is a housing project with 5 buildings as planned, 2 5-story buildings recently completed and already turned over to the beneficiaries. Collective housing community is where, on top of basic requirements, these are complemented with design guidelines developed during the collaborative workshops to ensure the needs of the community. Our stakeholders and experts include the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, Cebu Land Masters, WT Corp Construction, and of course, the community leaders. The city's 2014 Green Building Ordinance adopted in full the Verde Green Building Rating Standard of the Philippine Green Building Council, or the PhilGBC, a longtime sustainability partner of the city. After the required registration of the project, the minimum 1-star Verde certification was declared mandatory according to the ordinance. So if the Philippines has the Philippine Green Building Council, its rating tool is Verde. I believe Taiwan has the EEWH certification of the Taiwan Green Building Council. Today, the Tipolo Residences is a Verde Stage 1 certified project, not just 1 star, but 2. We got 2 stars, and it's the first green building project of the local government of Mandaue. And to top it off, according to PhilGBC, the first green certified housing project in the country. Building 1 is a city-funded project under the design and build contract, and Building 2 is in partnership with the DSHUD and CLI for their balanced housing compliance. From the ashes of the 2019 fire, now it is the site of the Tipolo Residences, a green and resilient collective housing community with a total of 194 housing units. Our vision for a green and resilient Mandaue extends beyond the provision of decent housing. This brings us to another significant green building project, the construction of the new Mandaue City Government Center. A new government center was ranked as #1 priority project during the formulation of the city's comprehensive development plan of 2023. The project is being implemented under a design and build contract and shall have green building features addressing resource efficiency, impact to the transportation, and health and well-being of occupants, among others, in compliance with the Green Building Ordinance of the city. As a public building with more than 5,000 square meters TGFA, it shall comply with the minimum 3-star Verde rating standard of the PhilGBC. This is our vision. The government center will rise within a 4-hectare city property. The groundbreaking project of this groundbreaking city project was held last August 29, 2024. As far as green building for resilient communities are concerned, we are aligned with 9 out of 17 UN SDGs as shown here, more than 50%, not bad. Considering that globally the building sector comprises about 40% of carbon emission. And before I end my presentation, it is my privilege to share to you that the UP-CFAL Philippines, together with the Center for Filipino Language, UP Diliman, translated the 17 SDGs into major languages in the Philippines. So what you see here is the Cebuano translation provided for by Professor Carlo Micael Mongaya. On behalf of Mandaue City, I am Ara. Thank you, CityNet. Thank you, Taipei. Daghang salamat, Shishay.
Thank you, Balan. Yeah, excellent talk. You have vision, so the city, well, a new version in the near future, right? Yeah, thank you. And we have, it's finished our presentation, but we have a special guest, our panelist, Commissioner Xu, and he is from, 他是我们台北市政府
He's the commissioner of the Department of Environmental Protection. He's going to speak in Mandarin. Oh, English. Please.
Well, moderator, Professor Zhou, and hello everyone from our CityNet. Today, I'm very glad to have the chance to share some Taipei experience. I think besides Professor Lin just mentioned about the project that would lower down 2 degree perceived temperature project. I think that's in the architecture and the landscaping aspect. I want to share some different parts about what we have done. First, maybe I want to talk about the tolerance of the rainfalls. I think in Taipei city government right now we are the tolerance for the heavy rainfall around like 78.8 millimeter per hour. That's a current standard. But everybody knows that during for the extreme climate, we get more and more, like no matter typhoon or some like the heavy rainfalls. So in 2015, our government started a project for the sponge city. We try to make the best use of the waters, no matter cooling down or we prevent the waste of the water resource. In 2018, the Department of the Public Works proposed a project we call the construction of the resilient city by public and the private sector. I think the project and the aim for this project is to get our higher tolerance for the waterfalls. So we start to work on that, and our object is to make the tolerance from the current 78.8 up to 88.8 millimeter per hour. I think for some of the history in the past 10 years, we got the more than 78.8 millimeter per hour. The rainfalls around like more than 50 times. So in current couple years, more and more the heavy rainfall. So we start this project. I think we try to, after this project, I think we can prevent like 90% of our people from, if we face into the 130 millimeter per hours, the rainfalls, we can, at least the 90% of people can prevent the risk. So this is the one part. The second, I think I want to talk about the heat wave warning. I think when everybody just arrive Taipei, I think that you feel the passion, not only from the people, but from the weather, right? So I want to give you some background information about Taipei. I think from 1923 to 2022, the average temperature from the whole global is go up 1.2 degree. I think everybody knows. But how about for Taipei? Taipei, from this stretch of time, we go up 1.8 degree. It's far more than the average because of I think the geographical like features, because Taipei is a basin, so it's very hard for the circulation, and also I think because the high density of the population, so we got a lot of heat. So for the heat wave warning, it become very, very important. So we are trying to follow the central government. They have the standard for I think maybe other people mentioned the yellow light, orange light, and the red light. That's based on the temperature, the duration of the high temperature period. So. But in Taipei City government, we divide into 12 districts. So each district has our own administration office. So when we got the red light, the orange light, that's a warning from the 3 days above the 36 degrees Celsius. And each district, we start to work on the warning system. So we work on to process no matter cooling down, or we start to warn some of the factory or some of the the business has to lower down the usage of the electricity. So that's the second part for the heat wave warning. And I think the third part is for the water. I think. The raw water supply. As we know, Taipei is very famous for our tap water system. So when you arrive to Taipei, most of people can drink the tap water directly. So I think it's very, we are proud of it. But the raw water, our tap water has 97% we got from the pipe, from the north of 北市溪 and the 南市溪, the downstream of these two rivers. But in the past couple of years, we faced the heavy typhoon, and the turbidity go up to the water of the turbidity go up to 12,000 NTU. That's very terrible. So at that time, we faced the risk for supply the tap water. So we start to do the project. We reconstruct a new like a raw water pipe tunnel on 2019, and that's a five-year project. And we finished this project this year. That's a 2.8 kilometer long and the pipe. And so after we provide this pipe, right now, even we face a very high like turbidity of the water, we can still serve 6 million population for the clean tap water. So I think we just want to share to everybody. Maybe if you got like sometimes you can go to our 翡翠水库 the 翡翠drain. Reservoir, yeah, 翡翠 reservoir. So you can take a look. It's a beautiful place, and I think it's worthy to go. So just share some experience to everybody. Thank you.
According to our agenda, we're going to close at 12:10, right? But we still have few minutes for that because the session start late. Okay? So I would like to open the floor to our speaker or panelist. Any question you would like to ask? No? No? How about you? Kiko? No? You want to share with us?
A little bit. I think from the opinion and the slides from Akiko, I think it's very good to combine the urban planning and landscape, and I think they deal with water and also greenery. So I think we have kind of risk of combine like flooding and also heat islands. So if we combine goods for the green infrastructure, tangible or intangible ways, and I think we can mitigate several risks in the same time. So that's a good way for the nature-based solution and also keep us move forward for nice quality and also reduce the risk. So that's my share about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Lin.
Thank you, Professor. My presentation was basically on building resilient communities through green building. I am not sure if anyone are experts here of green building. For Taiwan, we have the EEWH. Are you familiar with that, sir? So it's basically the same with the Philippines, but because we have more or less the same climate, yeah? Yeah, so we understand each other. What I'm trying to say is with all the information that we shared today with regard to the design, putting features for the environment, with what we're doing in Mandaue is we're trying to build something that is a little bit more tangible, measurable, and verifiable, because it's easy to say resilient communities living in green buildings. But if we understand the concept of green building, it's like the natural environment, when it's blank, when it's open, it's different when the built environment occupies the space. When a building is built in the space, that's where environmental concerns happen. When people are present, that's where environmental concerns are present. So if we are not able to identify, measure, and verify the impact of our built environment to the impact to the natural environment, it's just, we're just fooling ourselves. So if we are able to do so with the numbers that we design and then we verify through operations, then I think that's a better way of addressing building green for resilient communities.
Yeah, Balin, I think Professor Lin is an excellent candidate to answer your question.
Yeah. I think Philippines do it very well because in Taiwan we have a DEWH system. And right now, green building is an umbrella for the green building. But from last year, we have two indexes. One is for energy conservation for the HVAC system and the envelope of the building. And the second one is a low carbon emission for the construction. So from this year, we combine these two indexes and under the umbrella of green building. And right now, each year we have 1,000 certificate EWH green building, and it's based on the ministries of interior. But I think maybe in the future we can combine together because we suffering the same hot and humid climate. So let's move forward. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. It's okay. You have any comments or questions? Yeah. Commissioner Xu, you want to comment? No? No? Okay. Okay, so that's quick. Okay. Commissioner Xu reminded me I have to open the floor. So everybody in the room, if you have any question concerning to these speakers, okay, yes, here, please.
Thank you. I'm from Busan, South Korea, and I have some questions to first presenter. And Busan has really similar problem with Taipei. scorching hot weather, and many climate change, and very severe precipitation. So exactly with the same problem. So I'm really impressed about your introduction about 2 degrees Celsius perceived temperature cooling policy. I have 3 questions. First one is, why 2 degrees Celsius lowering is the target? Firstly, I really wonder about why 2 degrees Celsius. And the second one is, do Taipei government has specific target year to achieve this goal? And the last one is, it sounds slightly complicated, but many countries already know the answer about how to overcome the climate change. Like Professor already introduced some very good ideas about increasing the gap between the buildings or securing more greener spaces in the city. But the thing is, including South Korea, many Asian countries still focus on economic growth, not balancing with environmental protection. So still in Korea, many citizens have very strong antipathy about just propelling this kind of policy dramatically. Especially business sector disagree about this kind of movement. So I'm really wonder about in Taipei, are there some antipathy, especially in business sector, about implementing this kind of policy?
So I try to quickly to respond. I think it's very good. And I think Fushan and Taipei, maybe in the future we can work together. And first question is about, because we have a climate grid data, so we have a climate projection for the future. So we found the most extreme area in Taipei will extend to 4 degrees C in the middle of the century. So that will be the goal or the threshold for us. So this is first one. And for the target year, I think in Taiwan, we set 2 thresholds. One is for 2030, and the other one is 2050. And I believe that Taipei government will set the review point around 2030, because once you have a policy, then you have building, maybe it spent 5 or 10 years to achieve that. And the third issue, I think is very good. In Taiwan, we try to make this kind of green building or heat island mitigation combined to the bank system or a financial system. That means if you have a planning, you will do it good like a green building or low carbon building. Then when you have a development or you want to borrow some money for the bank, and you will have some discount for that. So that is in Taiwan. This is the pathway in our financial administration. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Oh, over here. Okay, please. So one of the important lessons that we learned on the awareness of climate change is this, that the societies which were privileged, societies which were rich, countries which were rich, essentially have exploited the globe very badly. And in the process have established very high standards of utility. And I'm talking about water. We at the moment are talking about building cities at 230 liters per capita per day, and actually is about 400 liters per capita per day. I grew up in a village in India and calculated how much water my family of 15 used. And you won't believe me, it was 18 liters per capita per day for 17 years. And I'm not stunted, I am very average. So point I'm trying to make is this: are we not setting standards very high while we are thinking about climate, while thinking about planet, while we're thinking about the future? And I think we've got to come to very realistic, very frugal norms and standards of utilizing globe's resources, especially water.
You want to answer this? Okay, this gentleman, I think he said, 他的意思就是说水不够了，在印度啊，所以他们
the water resources in Taipei, because we have the reservoir in nearby our city. So for us, Taipei city is very unique because we seldom face to the lack of the water resource. But I think right now we also promote one like a new life standard that we want people to save more water. We want people to save the energy, the usage of the electricity, etc. So I think for Taipei City government, maybe we try to provide not only Taipei City itself, but also we provide for the new Taipei City, even to the nearby Taoyuan City, the water resource. But for us, we face into the turbidity of the water. That's our problem. So I think it may be different risk or we face two different problems. Yeah.
Okay. Let me try this. Okay, actually in Taiwan we have drought. We have a really high annual rainfall. However, every year we encounter some drought difficulty. Okay, so the government they try to have increased the water using the enhancement, the precipitation technique, something more scientific, or we have to save our water usage, something like that. So actually, water shortage is not only in your area, maybe around the world, but at different degrees. Yeah, I think all the people will face this kind of difficulty in the future. Okay, my time's up. I have to close the session. At last, I would like to say that resilient society is our common goal, to build in this area. And in this session, all the talks, no matter what talking about the heat wave or the water, clean water, or others, we try to take measures or take actions to adopt this climate change. Okay, I think this is a successful session. So let's give us a big proud and to thank all the speakers and the panelists. Thank you. And also you sitting there. Okay, thank you very much.
Right, also many thanks to the moderator, professor. So everybody, could you please rise and come to the center stage? We're gonna have a photographer taking a picture for you. This is section 5. All the distinguished guests on stage share their insight and very informative. Okay, please face forward and beware of your badge. Face forward. Thank you. This is the first pose. All right, second picture. Everybody thumbs up. With your right hand or your left hand thumbs up. Again, face to our photographer. Thank you for very great discussion. Thank you. And also thanks for the panelists, speakers, and moderator. Thank you. And back to the participants. Currently, we have 12:22. It's a little behind the schedule. So our next agenda, afternoon session, will postpone about 10 minutes. So 1:10, we'll come back to the auditorium for our last session, the session 6. And currently, we have a luncheon prepared for everyone. So the location is the first floor. First floor, our staff will guide you to the dining room at the first floor. So currently, you are free to go to enjoy your lunch. And I repeat again, the afternoon session will begin at 1:10. Okay, thank you very much.